PowerBoat Television, North America's premier boating show.
Here's this week's My Boat feature.
You know, when I was water skiing as a kid, precision speed control was achieved by using hand signals. But nowadays, it's done all with satellites and GPS. But for those of you with older inboards and IOs, this technology is certainly available. So this week on My Boat, we're going to install a perfect pass system on this 88 Nautique, a modern upgrade for an old classic. So how perfect pass works, it's a lot like cruise control in your car, only you set the speed in advance for the rider's preference. When they're ready, you hit the throttles, and when you've reached the set speed, the unit will beep to say it's engaged. So there's two main items at play here. Number one is the master module, the computer that does all the thinking. And number two, which is where we're going to begin the install today, is the servo motor that acts as the physical speed control. The servo motor just clamps onto one of the available water lines at the front of the motor. Here, the only thing you need to be aware of is that you leave enough clearance for the engine hatch. Then, you need to disconnect the throttle cable from the ball joint connector, and remove the pieces so you can connect the servo cable to the throttle cable. The L bracket connects to the engine throttle and swivels in a manner that's similar to the original ball joint connector. Well, that's all we can do here at the motor. We've got the servo motor installed, the cables ran, and it's hooked up to the throttle linkage. So now we head to the dash and start with the electronics. So here at the dash, we've got a bit of work to do. We're going to open it up so we can access the gauges so we can replace them. Then install the master module, and finally we've got the fish to run the cable, and then we just connect them all. Now before you tighten them for good, you want to adjust your gauges to make sure that they're straight to save you having to go back to do this again. When you get the gauges how you like and they're tightened down, you can then move on to installing the master module anywhere under the dash where you have room. With the master module now installed, we're ready to fish the cable to get power from the module down to the servo. So we've got the servo motor hooked up to the master module along with the display for the stargazer. Now, the Precision Star is actually a really easy install because all it needs is power, ground, and ignition. So we've gone ahead and shared the ignition wire, we're going to share the ground, and then the direct power will stay on so that the GPS always has power and it doesn't need to calibrate each time. To send the RPMs to the master module, it's just a simple splice of the matching gray wires along with the grounds. With everything connected, it's a simple matter of putting all the connections in their proper spots. Well, all our wiring's put to bed, so if all went according to plan, we should get power. And really, that's all it is. For a technical advanced system, it actually is really easy to install, and it's certainly worth the time and money when you hit the water.